Good morning. This video is to say thank you and to teach you about the secret to receiving. This is Molly Reardon, and this is not a substitute for professional help. For 7 years, I made YouTube videos. And I had, maybe 200 loyal subscribers. Thank you. And then in 2023, I think it was, I got monetized. And I appreciate that. You helped that happen. But then I saw that people were putting a button on their YouTube where people could donate to Feeding America. And I found out that you had to have 10,000 subscribers to do that. So I asked for help with that, and we are up to over 3,000 subscribers now. So I want to thank you for helping me move towards that goal. If you haven't subscribed yet and you want to help me reach my goal of attaining 10,000 subscribers so I can put a Feeding America button on my YouTube, please subscribe to my channel today. So what is the secret to receiving? One day, for Tony Robbins, he grew up in poverty. Somebody donated Thanksgiving dinner to his family. He had to wear pants that were too short. He got a job as a janitor at night, and he would go to school during the day. And I think he had like 4 or 5 different fathers. And his mother was very abusive towards him. But he says that he loves her, and she helped him to become the man he is today. But he was so impressed that strangers gave his family Thanksgiving dinner that even when he didn't have hardly anything, he took his hard-earned money and he started giving Thanksgiving dinners to people that needed it. And then he became wealthy. And he says if you don't give when you don't have, you're not going to give when you're wealthy. But when he became wealthy, he's over a billionaire now. He donated the proceeds of one of his books to Feeding America. And he continues to do that. And that equated to a ton of people being fed in America. So he talks about times when he was down to his last dollar and he gave it away. And he was hungry. He had to walk to a place that was all you can eat. When he got there, he saw this little boy dressed up in a suit with his mom pulling out the chair for his mother at a restaurant. And he was so impressed. He said, "Oh, you're taking your mother out to eat?" And the little boy said, "Oh, no, I don't have the money for that." And Tony was so inspired, he gave his last dollars to this little boy to take his mother out to eat, even though that was all he had. And then he ran home to his place, and someone called that owed him money and apologized and said they were sending him a check for a good amount of money. So he was showing us that when you're down to your last dollar and you give, it does come back to you. And I've had moments in my own life. I remember I had $20 to my name one day, and my son messaged me, "Mom, can you lend me $20? And I didn't want him to know that I was down to my last $20. This was years ago. And so I sent it to him. And I made $200 that day. That's an example. I'm not saying just run around giving willy-nilly. Listen to your heart. Let your heart and mind be aligned. And you will know if it's the right thing to give. And that's the secret to receiving. There's more secrets. There's another one. Since ancient times, people have been tithing. I'm not a religious person, but you can tithe to whatever fulfills you or feeds you spiritually, 10% of what you make. And I find that when I do that, it does come back to me. I read about that in one of Catherine Ponder's books. She's great. She really is great. She had a small infant and her husband died, and she was living in a room. And she started writing, and she's done very well for herself. Her writing helped a lot of people all around the world, including herself. So those are a couple of tips on how to receive. Now, do I always practice them? No. And it's reflected in my life when I don't. Because we are deeply programmed. We're like sponges when we're little in our formative years. Somebody could just be walking by us and say something and, like, you look just like your dad, he could never make any money, you're going to be just like him. And no matter how much money we make, we sabotage ourselves because that programming is in our subconscious mind, running all the time. And until we change that, no matter how much money we make, we're going to do something to sabotage it. But the good news is you can reprogram your subconscious mind. And there's a lot of great books about that. Tony Robbins, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Phyllis Diller, the famous comedian, Liberace, they all read this book called The Magic of Believing. And that book talks about programming your subconscious mind, how repetition is one of the keys to program your subconscious mind. Say something over and over again, an affirmation, but you got to feel it. If you say it over and over again, you got to feel it. So your heart and your mind should be aligned when you're saying your affirmation. Now, some people say that the eyes are the window to the soul. We hear that all the time. So there's another way to reprogram your subconscious mind. When you're looking into your eyes, you're actually looking into your subconscious mind. So you can command your subconscious to do what you want it to do. The best time to do this is when you first get up in the morning or right before you go to sleep, because your brain is in the alpha state. It's most programmable. It's a slower cycle of brain waves. So you stand at attention, your feet together, stand tall, look yourself in the eyes, and say, I am whatever it is that you want. For instance, I am making $10,000 in sales. I am confident. I am, but feel it like it's already happened. And salespeople have done this and seen increase in their sales. People that have to give speeches do their speeches in the mirror. There's famous people that have done this. You can read it in the book, The Magic of Believing. The eyes are the window to the soul, so you can reprogram. Sometimes you remember what people have said to you in your younger years when you were a kid that influenced you. Sometimes you don't remember it. I remember a woman came to me and she said she had trouble speaking, and I said, something happened to you in kindergarten, and she said, that's ridiculous. But then she remembered her teacher had told her to shut up. And she worked on reprogramming that. So you do have the power to change your life. I hope this was helpful to you. I'm giving you this value today in hopes that you will subscribe to my channel so I can reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers and put that Feeding America button on my YouTube and give back. Much love to you, and thank you.